The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
It's a primetime top 25 matchup to begin the year as 21st-ranked Carson-Newman takes on third-ranked Lander, and then the Lady Eagles will wrap up the opening weekend with USC Aiken on Sunday with Coach Mike Mincey. Michael Watchering for the Eagles Sports Network. Coach, it is interesting the way that it plays out because typically you've had an exhibition or two under your belt. Potentially you play USC Aiken, and then you get a top 15, top 20 Lander club. Instead, you come right out of the gates with this Bearcats club. How has the preparation been for getting ready for the number 3 team in the country?
I mean, it's been pretty good. We had the 3 scrimmages, so it's not like we haven't played against somebody. We've got to see ourselves on film, correct some things, work on some things. Of course, we've had quite a bit of time now, about 2 weeks going into this Lander game to where our entire focus has been on these first 2 games of the year. And, of course, Lander being game number 1, we've put a lot of effort into trying to prepare for them because it's a very big challenge to try to prepare for them. So I'm glad we've had the time to do it.
There will be 3 All-Americans on the floor when this game starts. I think that's the most All-Americans that have been on the floor in one time in any game that you've ever had out there. The talent will not be lacking. You return all 5 starters. They return all 5 starters. What's going to be the biggest key to trying to come away with a win against them?
Well, they're experienced, with their run last year. They know what it takes to win when you're a year older. They've got good foot speed. They have ability to get to the rim. They have an inside presence and can play inside out. So it's a big challenge for our basketball team to try to limit them in transition, certainly not put them at the free throw line and then keep them off the glass.
You get a great start with a Lander club to begin the year, but then you have to turn around and play USC Aiken. So regardless of what happens on Saturday, you come away with a win, that's emotional, you're riding a high, maybe you overlook a USC Aiken. Conversely, if you come away with a loss, you don't want that to splash in to that Aiken matchup. How do you as a coach handle 80 minutes of basketball against these 2 teams?
Well, it's always hard because you're playing tournament basketball right out of the gate. Obviously, you start with a big Lander. If you win, the thing is because if you do beat Lander, obviously it's a big win. They're ranked number 3 in the country, and then you can't go and take Aiken lightly because Aiken gave Lander a great game last year. So if you lose against Lander, you go into the Aiken game, you want to get back on better footing and try to come away with a win. So the one thing that you want to do when you go into a tournament like this, you don't want to go 0-2 and then have to go play Tusculum. So preparing. Obviously, we put a lot of time in on Lander. We're going to prepare for Aiken, but you got to focus on that first game, and then you have a little bit of time on Saturday night to prepare for Aiken on Sunday.
Last year around this time, there were so many question marks. When are we going to play? Are we going to play? Who's going to play? Well, this year it feels like things are a little bit more natural. The non-conference schedule is there. With all of that in mind, how excited is this group to get onto the floor knowing that pretty much every Wednesday, Saturday from here on out, games are going to be played?
I think we're all excited across the country, you see tonight, opening night with games everywhere. And there's still some protocol things out there with a mask and, I don't know, maybe some limited capacity. I don't know what's going to happen. But we know we're going, and we're going to get to play. And the way things have shaped up in football and the fall sports kind of leading into the winter, it kind of gives us a lot of hope, even though we're an indoor sport and things could change. But that, we're going to get fans back. That excitement and the pageantry of college basketball is going to be back. And I know me as the head coach, on through my staff and our players, we're super excited to get out there. And we hope we never have to play a game in front of 0 fans ever again.
Take away 2 wins this weekend, take away results. For this weekend to be successful, what needs to happen?
Well, we've talked about this a lot. You can't go into the first game of the year, especially when you're playing an opponent that's ranked number 3 in the country and think, well, if we lose, that's the end of the season, because we've kind of got to where we judge ourselves and we're our own worst critics sometimes about how we play, and even sometimes when we're playing maybe a lesser opponent, if the margin of victory is not great, you don't feel good about it. But, winning is hard to do. Doesn't matter who you're playing. And you go into this weekend, we've got some new pieces, some new freshmen that we're going to add to it. Like you mentioned, I think you've interviewed Skylar. This is her first full college basketball season. How are we going to gel together? We didn't end the year well last year. We want to get back on a better start this year. And I think that more than anything, we just want to make sure at the end of the year we're not losing 3 of our last 4 games. So, this is big games, it's a big start. But we want to make sure that we are getting better. We're going to come out this weekend, learn from it, move into our conference play, and just try to get better so that once we get into late February, early March, we're more of a force to deal with than possibly the way we ended last year.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you, Mike.
It's Carson-Newman coach Mike Mincey. I'm Michael Watchering here for the Eagles Sports Network.